The day I became the most hated man in Lakeside Estates was the same day I became its most powerful, all because of a $500 fine. Karen Wellington and her homeowners association had charged me for fishing with my grieving daughter. What they didn't know? I had 4 million reasons to fight back and enough spite to use everyone. If you're hiding in your bathroom right now, avoiding another soul-crushing HOA meeting, stick around. This story's for you. My name is Remy Thorncraft. Until 2 months ago, I lived the American dream. 15 years in venture capital, an early exit from 3 tech startups, retired at 42. Then life's sucker punched us. My wife Rachel lost her battle with cancer last year, leaving me to raise Solon, our 14-year-old daughter. Grief hollowed us out. The only solace? Fishing. It was the last thing we'd done together as a family before Rachel's final decline. So when I sought a fresh start, I demanded one thing: water. Lakeside Estates promised upscale homes, top schools, and a serene 6-acre lake. The realtor mentioned an HOA but downplayed it. Just lawn maintenance and paint colors, she'd said, hesitating before adding. The president, Karen Wellington, is very protective of property values. I'd handled Wall Street sharks. How bad could one suburban bureaucrat be? I learned the answer on a misty April morning. Solon and I sat on the community dock, rods in hand. For the first time in months, her smile reached her eyes as she carefully unhooked a bluegill. Then a voice sliced through the calm. "Excuse me, what exactly do you think you're doing?" Karen Wellington approached like a warship in athleisure wear. Blonde bob razor sharp, tablet clutched like a shield. She ignored my outstretched hand. "Fishing is prohibited, Mr. Thorncraft. Direct violation, $500 fine." Her tone implied she'd caught us dumping toxic waste. The realtor said fishing was allowed. "Regulations changed last month," she retorted, thrusting her tablet forward. An email notice glared on the screen. All residents were notified. Ignorance isn't an exemption. But why? Environmental concerns and resident complaints? Her gaze flicked to our tackle box with disdain. Some find the smell disruptive during their morning coffee. Solon flinched beside me. Karen's eyes swept over us. My faded flannel shirt, Solon's thrift store sneakers. New residents sometimes struggle with our standards. People accustomed to different neighborhoods. The subtext was clear. You don't belong. Solon's quiet sniffle broke me. Tears welled in her eyes. This was her sanctuary, violated. "We'll leave," I said coldly. "Send the fine details." Karen's smile was a scalpel. "Glad we understand each other." That night I scoured every email folder. No notice. Digging deeper, I discovered Karen wasn't just HOA president. She owned Wellington Properties, a boutique real estate firm. Social media showed her hosting lakeside wine parties, music blaring, laughter echoing, while banning our quiet fishing. Hypocrisy served chilled. Then I found the buried clause. The lake is common property belonging to all residents. The HOA merely managed it. As I watched Karen's friends toast by the water, I whispered, "You want to play rules? Fine. First, I find who really owns this lake." My ally emerged by chance. Merrick Henderson, a retired attorney walking his basset hound past my porch. At the mention of Karen, his geniality vanished. "Ah, you've met our neighborhood Caesar." Over bitter coffee, he laid bare her empire. "The lake isn't HOA owned. It belongs to Meridian Development. They leased recreational rights to the HOA 30 years ago." He tapped a document. "That lease expires in 2 months. Meridian was drowning in debt," he revealed. Karen was negotiating to buy the lake. Not for the HOA, but for herself. She plans to shrink it, build luxury homes. That fishing ban? Step 1. Make the lake seem troublesome, then save it with development. Suddenly, the $500 fine felt trivial. This was about erasing our refuge for profit. Merrick introduced Samuel Washington, a retired banker with a grudge and a spreadsheet. His data was damning. Homeowners of color received 3 times more violations. Problem properties mysteriously ended up with Karen-linked shell companies. She bleeds people dry with fines, forces desperate sales, then flips the houses, Samuel explained. The lake is her crown jewel. I saw my opening. As a venture capitalist, I specialized in distressed assets, and Meridian was desperate. What if we outbid her, I asked. Samuel's eyes gleamed. Timing is everything. Let her announce her grand plan. Let her invest her reputation. Then strike. We built an underground resistance. Maria Gonzalez, fined after her foster kids disturbed Karen's grandkids at the pool. James Morris, targeted for overly bright Christmas lights after criticizing her. Diana Winters, harassed by inspections after her husband's death. Their stories painted a pattern. Karen weaponized rules to crush dissent. Meanwhile, the harassment escalated. Fines rained down. $100 for dandelions. $200 for mailbox tilt. Solon came home crying when Karen's ally, Brianna's mom, told classmates we were troublemakers. I nearly capitulated until Merrick stopped me. Selling is what she wants. Don't teach Solon to run from bullies. Robert Chen, a nervous realtor, met me at a distant diner. Karen's offer is $300,000, but Meridian needs cash now. She's scrambling for financing. He leaned in. Her empire's a house of cards. This lake deal, it's her lifeline. The next day, I sat across from Tom Branson, Meridian's exhausted VP. Karen's offer is pennies over 18 months, he admitted. We need liquidity. I'll give you $350,000. Cash. Closing in 7 days. Tom stared. She'll wage war. Let her. Karen's war was petty tyranny. A citation appeared within minutes of Solon leaving her bike in the driveway. But her fatal mistake was the emergency HOA meeting. She unveiled glossy renderings. The Lakeside Renaissance. The lake shrunk by 20%, replaced by a members-only lounge, conveniently eliminating fishing spots. A special assessment, she declared, $50 more monthly from each household for essential improvements. Samuel stood to object. Karen eviscerated him. Perhaps Mr. Washington shouldn't lecture us about compliance while hiding his tax delinquencies? A lie. Samuel had resolved a clerical error years prior. When Sapphira Duskin, a timid board member, suggested a community vote, Karen threatened her flower shop lease. The room chilled. Power, unchecked. Little did Karen know, I'd just bought the lake. The deed, transferred to Thorncraft Holdings, LLC, burned in my safe. The confrontation came at Karen's Reclaim Our Lake party, a lavish affair for her allies, pointedly excluding critics. As champagne flowed, I arrived with Merrick, Samuel, my attorney, and Officer Reynolds. I took Karen's microphone. Enjoying my lake? I announced. The crowd froze. Karen lunged. Trespassers have 15 minutes to leave. Her face purpled. The HOA has rights. Expired 30 days early. For cause. I nodded to my attorney who listed violations. Neglected water quality, toxic algae from lawn chemicals Karen ignored. You cited environmental concerns to ban fishing? The only hazard here is you. As Officer Reynolds handed out trespass notices, Karen spluttered. Residents stared, some furious, many quietly thrilled. About time, muttered an elderly man. I installed cameras and private property signs. At a press conference, I announced plans for a Rachel Thorncraft Memorial Conservation Area, partnering with ecologists to restore the poison lake. The local paper ate it up. Karen's retaliation was swift and stupid. She tried lawsuits, dismissed, smear campaigns, backfired, then, captured on my security cameras, sneaked onto the lake at midnight to dump contaminant. Officer Reynolds arrested her for trespassing and attempted pollution. The dominoes fell. Sapphira, emboldened, exposed Karen's financial sleight of hand. $80,000 for her friend's park, nothing for the children's playground. An audit revealed embezzlement. Residents revolted. Karen was evicted from the HOA, facing criminal charges and civil suits. At the community meeting, I faced my neighbors. I'll transfer the lake to a community trust, under 3 conditions: new HOA leadership with term limits, fair regulations, and an ethics committee. Then I dropped the bomb. I also bought the mortgage notes on 20% of Lakeside's homes, including Karen's. Gas filled the room. I won't foreclose. I'll refinance your debts at low rates. But first, we rebuild together. The vote to oust Karen's regime was unanimous. Safira became president. Rachel's Lake was born. 1 year later, Solon and I sat on the dock at dusk, lines in the water. Laughter echoed. Families picnicked where Karen's clique once held court. Mom would be proud, Solon murmured, her smile radiant. Karen had vanished, bankrupt and disgraced. Lakeside Estates became a model for HOA reform. I'd declined a mayoral bid, instead funding scholarships for kids who'd lost parents to cancer. Justice isn't about revenge. It's about restoring what's broken and protecting the quiet moments that heal us. Like fishing at dusk with your daughter, in a place that finally feels like home.